that guys will walk around bitter and mad, like,
oh, this person's just using me, or oh, this person doesn't accept me for who I am, or they're criticizing me.
no, like, you don't fuck with yourself for who you are. You don't like yourself like that. You should have showed up as who you truly are. Stop caring about what people think about you, because honestly, they're probably not even thinking about you. Science backs this up. 78% of the conversations that we have are about ourselves or about our perceptions of the world. And our minds are naturally wired to default to us thinking about ourselves if it's not being used for external demands. And let's say somebody is kikiing about you and talking about you. It's based on their own experiences in life anyway, so their assumptions probably aren't even true. That is your potion of the day. Welcome to the Nomad's Potion. And I want to dig into authenticity because I feel as though there have been a lot of situations around me where people have not been showing up as their authentic selves. And it's like, bro, you're causing yourself to have unpleasant experiences because you don't want to be real about who you are. Like, I had a homeboy venting to me about a girl he was dealing with, and he was like, she wants me to pay all of the rent. She wants me to pay for this and that. And I'm like, well, I know them and they give off. I'm spending a bag. I'm flashy. I'm going to do those things. So you came to her as that person. She's just expecting you to keep being the person that you were acting like you were. But you have this facade of a person that you've been living, and now you can't sustain it. And you want to get mad at her? No, be mad at yourself because you don't fuck with yourself enough to show up as who you really are. I'll tell a guy, like, look, don't do it if you can't keep it up. Don't even do it. Don't even put that in my mind that you're this type of person if you're really not. And I think that guys will walk around bitter and mad, like,
oh, this person's just using me, or oh, this person doesn't accept me for who I am, or they're criticizing me.
No, like, you don't fuck with yourself for who you are. You don't like yourself like that. You should have showed up as who you truly are. And I think that there's so many things that play a part in that. Social media, titles, the fact that people really just don't like who they are. I think, just like the pressure from like society to be a certain type of way and act a certain type of way. Even something as simple as like guys not, digging into their emotions and things like that because they're not supposed to cry, and like that's not the manly thing to do. And it's like, maybe this guy really is naturally in tune with his emotions. So now he's suppressing that because society says a man is supposed to be that way. Even with myself, I have dealt with people telling me that I'm like too masculine because I'm naturally a driven, motivated person. Like, I have a really like bold and strong personality if you like really get to know me. So I've dealt with guys who felt inferior to me and was like, oh, you're too masculine. And it's like, no, you feel inferior to me, and I'm being my authentic self, and I can't suppress myself to please you because I've done it. And then like I felt like I was losing myself because this is naturally who I am. I have to stand in my power and be who I am. If you don't like it, you don't have to be around me, but I'm not going to fake it to fit into what society says I'm supposed to be. And so I think it's so important to show up as who you really are. I've even seen guys like be on the net like, oh, how to get a girl to act this type of way. And so they'll like act like they have personality traits as this person is saying like, oh, be this way to get this girl to do this. And it's like, that's so stupid because you're not gonna be able to keep up with those fake personality traits that you're gonna act like you have to get this girl to do this thing. And it's like, it's not gonna last because you're not being real. You're not being who you really are. You cannot keep anything by getting it in a fake way. You're gonna lose it. So be mad at yourself, whether it's a job or a person. And I actually had a homegirl who, she wasn't like perping to act like she was someone that she wasn't, but she wasn't keeping it a buck. We were at the bar. I was late. And I showed up and I was like, what's up, everybody? And there was this guy sitting at the table. I didn't know who he was with. I didn't really care. Wasn't really thinking about it. And I said, hey. And then my homegirl was like, oh, I just met him. Now, I wasn't worried about it at all. But being that she said that, it's like, okay, clearly something's going on. I wasn't even worried about it. Wasn't thinking about y'all. But now that you said this, you made it pretty obvious that you're trying to hide something. And that's the thing. Like, when you are not showing up in an authentic way, people pick up on it. Like, you tell on yourself. So fast forward throughout the night, she ended up saying like, okay, I didn't just meet him. I wasn't honest because I didn't want you judging me because this guy's older. And I was like, girl, I wasn't even thinking about you. And like, that's the thing, to go back to the Nomad's Potion for the day, or the potion of the day, like nobody was even thinking about you. And secondly, like, people are going to talk shit regardless. You date somebody younger than you, oh, he's too young. Older, oh, he's too old. Same age, well, he don't have his life together. People will talk regardless. So if you're going to live your life based off what other people think, you will never be happy. You will never be fulfilled or satisfied because people are always going to have something to say. Living your truth, you have to live your life every day. You have to go to sleep with yourself every day. It's important for you to walk in your truth, your power, and authenticity. Who gives a fuck what people think? And I want anyone and everyone that I encounter to always be their authentic selves, because when you are that way and you bring your uniqueness to this world, bring your power to this world, you can help so many people. But when you're perping and acting and trying to fit into like these molds, you will never, one, be fulfilled or have like authentic connections, and then people will never be able to fully experience who you really are. And I think that's so important. Even myself, because I don't want to talk about other people only, I, for the most part, have been a self-assured person. Like growing up, I remember one time I was playing on the playground and my dad was like watching me, I guess. I was playing with a bunch of kids and they started doing something I didn't want to do. I was like, I'm not doing that. And I went my weird self, started playing by myself, having a good old time. And then when I was leaving, my dad was like, keep that about yourself. And I'm young, so I'm like, huh? Like, what do you mean? And he was like, you know, you move to the beat of your own drum. You're not a follower. You do your own thing. Like, keep that about yourself. So I've always been self-assured and always kind of like had this notion of like, I am who I am. I'm an acquired taste. If you like me, you don't, you don't. I'm not changing who I am for you. But I will say I've suppressed parts of myself because I didn't want to be judged. I've always dealt with people having false perceptions of who I am, and I used to feel like I always had to defend myself, and I got tired of defending myself, which I never ever had to do from the jump, but I felt like I did at that time. If you're bothered by what I'm into, that's a personal problem. I'm going to keep doing the things that make me happy, make me feel fulfilled and more connected to the things that matter to me. And I think that's so important. People, you know, need to always bring their authentic selves to the table, because we are all unique. We all have our own uniqueness that we bring to the world. And if we suppress that or try to dumb ourselves down or try to fit into what other people want, we will never be able to have a real impact in this world. Like, what you have will help people, will be a light to other people. And so you have to live in that. You know, one way to stay in your authenticity is to have a strong belief system, have strong morals and values that you stick to, because then you'll know. Because I mean, we all waver, you know what I'm saying? None of us are perfect. And I think sometimes we may do things to compromise and to fit in or to not be judged. And I think that the best way to stay in tune with who you really are is to check back in and say, does this fall in alignment with what my morals and values are? Nope. Okay, that don't fit with who I am. I'm not doing that. I'm not following that. You know, so I think that is a big way to stay in your truth, and taking time to sit with yourself and really seeing who you are and what you're really into is a great way to do that as well. And then you can bring your light, your full light, to the world. That is all for this episode of the Nomad's Potion